Are you dealing with screaming child behavior? That one is hard and not just on the ears. I'm Nicholeen Peck and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about solutions for that screaming child behavior. In this video, we're going to talk about why children choose that screaming child behavior and solutions that you can apply that will not lead to parents escalating against their children. It's not necessary to yell at your children to get them to stop yelling at you. I know that sometimes we think we have to be the loudest person in the room, but we don't, especially if we have prepared them with a structure that is bigger and stronger than their yelling. Why is it that people yell? Let's talk about that. People yell because they're trying to get your attention. They're trying to be understood. They're feeling like they're drowning or falling. They feel hopeless, helpless, they're panicking. That's why they're yelling. Okay, that's the main reason that people yell. So actually there's some sort of unmet need there that they need. They need their parent to acknowledge them, to help them. They also might yell for other reasons though. So that's our number one most common reason that somebody might yell. And we have to ask ourselves as a parent, are we giving them our attention? Are we looking at them when they're talking to us? Are we looking at them when we are talking to them? Or are we distracted? We've got to be careful about that. Try to give them the attention when they need it. That said, sometimes they have to be able to accept a no answer and they don't get our attention all the time because there's other things that we have to do as adults, right? This is when they need the skill accepting no answers. We're going to talk more about that coming up. So why else do our children scream? Sometimes the screamers scream just because they have a hard time verbally. They don't know what words to use. They haven't been trained on how to get their point out to somebody else. Some people who are neurodiverse will just develop the habit of just releasing their emotions and chemicals through a scream in order to attempt to regulate themselves. So you have to understand the brain. If you do a huge endorphin release and you scream really loud or hit something really loud, there is a fake calm that comes in. Now we have the GABA chemicals that come into the brain that start to balance out the brain, and it makes you feel like everything's okay now. It also can give a false message that you won or that you were understood when in reality you might not have been. You were just the loudest person in the room and you went to full-on panic. Now another reason that people will yell is because they recognize that it's a great button to push. Once they start yelling, their parents start stressing, their parents want to make them feel better. So it's a manipulative tactic to try and get their way. So it can't work, right? Yelling can't work. We can't allow that. It throws off our roles in the family dynamic, which is not healthy for you, but it's also not healthy for them. So we need to pre-teach them the skills that they need for success. If you've already subscribed to this channel before, then you know I am all about pre-teaching self-government skills for good communication and successful relationships in the family. So this is no different. Let's talk about some skills that they're going to need for success. I already mentioned the accepting a no answer skill. When a person learns to accept a no answer, they learn to look at the person or the situation. I mean, a situation could be, I don't get my way, something gets lost, whatever it is. Sometimes reasons people scream, right? Or a boundary line I shouldn't cross. There's all kinds of things that are no answers. So I look at the person or the situation. Then I keep a calm face, voice, and body. Now that is completely contrary to screaming. As soon as you raise your voice, your whole body gets loud, not just your voice. So how do we keep a calm face, voice, and body? We've got to talk about what they look like, what they feel like. We have to proactively practice those things. Okay, then step number 3 is to say okay to whatever the no answer is, because we don't get to control everything. Or we could say, okay, may I disagree appropriately? If there's a person to talk to, then let's go and disagree appropriately with them. That would be very productive, wouldn't it? There's a whole bunch of adults who don't know how to do that. They don't know how to disagree appropriately with anybody. And this is actually why they're screaming. So just knowing the skill disagree appropriately can give them another way to seek understanding if their reason for screaming is not manipulative, but truly to seek understanding. Then there's drop the subject. That means you don't talk about it anymore. You don't think about it anymore. So maybe they got a no answer. Something didn't go their way. They didn't like something. Drop the subject. A person can choose to drop the subject. You have to talk about what it is. They have to experience being able to do it, but then they can. And I promise you, every person can choose not to think about something or not to act in a certain way. It's totally possible. Now, sometimes children will yell just to gain dominance. So we do have to talk about roles a little bit. What is the role of parent? What is the role of child? So I have written 15 books. This is one of them. It was an instant bestseller called Roles: The Secret to Family, Business, and Social Success. It's actually a story of a family and how their roles in the family were not good, which led to all of this dysfunction. People didn't listen to each other. They got angry with each other and hostile. The parents weren't on the same page with each other. They struggled with their emotions. And you can see how a person can learn their roles in any of their areas of life, whether it's with their friends and colleagues or within their family or school or anywhere. There are roles, and roles aren't necessarily our responsibilities. The roles may help us understand what responsibilities we should take on, but they really are more about who we are to the other people. Those things are important to talk about. If you have a conversation like that with your child about who they are, do they recognize that they're a learner? That that's one of their roles, and that as a parent that you're the teacher? If the learner doesn't learn or the teacher doesn't teach, you have dysfunction. I want to say that again. If the learner doesn't learn or the teacher doesn't teach, you have dysfunction. So if you back away from this screaming behavior and don't do teaching, if you retreat, you will have more dysfunction. And if you don't handle it the right way, also, if you forget that you're a teacher and instead you start taking their behavior personally because it's so hard on the ears, you will also fall into dysfunction. Calm corrections are the way to go. On my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, I have a course. It's called the TSG Parenting Course. And this course is all about teaching parents how to proactively train their children with skills like how to follow instructions, how to accept no answers and criticism, how to accept consequences, how to disagree appropriately, how to self-regulate themselves, how to serve others. There's a lot of skills that we teach our children. This course, the TSG Parenting Course, goes into details about how to teach our children self-regulation and all of these skills that they need for success. But it also teaches you the skills that you need for success as well. And in that program, you learn how to have conversations with your children that will help them get the roles in the right place and help you keep the roles in the right place too, because you're fully calm. There are more things that we can talk about when it comes to screaming, but you need the skills. You need to be able to pre-teach yourself and them. You need that calmness that comes with self-government. And I'd like to help you get that. So before you do the TSG Parenting Course, which is going to give you all the pieces that you need, there is a free Calm Parenting Toolkit on my website right now. So if you go to teachingselfgovernment.com, you can get that Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. I'll give it to you for free right now. Start learning the 10 tools for calmness so that you don't engage with your screamer, so that you don't have to escalate that behavior. And when you start learning the tools for calmness and the skills of self-government and teaching them to your child, everything will change. I can guarantee that.